This is a Wurlitzer electric piano. It's probably my favorite keyboard instrument ever. Originally manufactured in Chicago, I think.
What did we decide? No.
But close to Chicago, maybe.
DeKalb, Illinois, and
Illinois.
Cincinnati.
In the 1950s, an American instrument company called Wurlitzer started producing their electric piano, which is an electromechanical keyboard instrument. Wurlitzer, which is officially called the Rudolf Wurlitzer Company, had been producing instruments in the US since the late 19th century. They made a lot of pianos and organs and some other random things like jukeboxes and vending machines. They introduced their first electric piano to the world in 1954, with full commercial production beginning in earnest in 1956. The sound of the Wurlitzer electric piano is produced by hammers striking against metal reeds, one for each note. Inside the keyboard, there are two electrostatic pickup bars, one for the bass and one for the treble, and they respond to the vibrations of the reeds. The Wurlitzer is unique in the electric piano world for its electrostatic pickups, in contrast to the Hohner Pianette or the Fender Rhodes, which use electromagnetic pickups. So while these other electric pianos are passive instruments, meaning they don't need any power to operate, the Wurlitzer is active because it relies on that high voltage, low current electricity for the pickup system to work. They produced their earliest models, the 100 series, throughout the late 50s and early 60s, slowly gaining in popularity among amateurs and professional musicians alike. Some early adopters of the Whirly included Sun Ra, Duke Ellington, and Ray Charles. It received a boost in popularity with the success of Ray Charles' 1959 single, What I'd Say, which features the sound of the Whirly very prominently. Before long, other jazz, soul, and R&B artists began incorporating it into their music, such as Marvin Gaye's I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Aretha Franklin's I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Loved You, and Cannonball Adderley's Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. Starting in 1968, Wurlitzer began producing their 200 series, which was a much lighter and more portable instrument, with a plastic lid to replace the wooden cabinetry of the earlier models. It also had two speakers on the front facing the player. The 200 series was a huge success. They were mass-produced, and there was a boom in the Wurlitzer's popularity going into the 70s. The Wurlitzer 200 and 200A are still today by far the two most popular models of the Wurlitzer electric piano. If you like soft rock hits of the 70s, chances are you know the sound of the Wurlitzer electric piano. It was used in many hits, such as Top of the World by Carpenters, The Logical Song by Supertramp, Dirty Work by Steely Dan, Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest, You're My Best Friend by Queen, Money by Pink Floyd, and Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. In the 70s, the Wurlitzer was almost as popular in the classroom as it was on the stage or in the home. Schools would have a classroom full of Wurlitzer student models, which were in the 200 series, and this is how kids would learn to play piano. While the Wurlitzer's days of classroom use are over now, some studios and performers still swear by these student models. Norah Jones loves her 206. As analog and digital synthesizers got more advanced and more popular at the end of the 70s and into the early 80s, electric pianos shifted out of focus for a little while. Sales declined in a major way, and Wurlitzer stopped producing their electric pianos in 1983. Although they haven't been produced in over 40 years, many people still faithfully maintain and restore these vintage instruments. Their sound is unique, and just like anything that goes out of fashion for a while, it comes back. To me, the sound is timeless. There was a bit of a revival of the Whirly sound in the 90s and early 2000s, with hits such as Where It's At by Beck, Waterfalls by TLC, All I Want to Do by Sheryl Crow, Rehab by Amy Winehouse, Chasing Pavements by Adele, I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, and Gives You Hell by the All-American Rejects. Even today, many artists love to use the Whirly, myself included. I got to play on a Wurlitzer 200A at the Museum of Music Technology in Harleysville, PA, and I even got to record a few songs on it for my upcoming album. One of those songs is my next single, Passing Through. This was my first time playing and recording on a 200A, but not my first time recording with the Wurlitzer. I recorded my 2023 single Goldfish on a 206A and my 2024 song Vanishing Vashti on a 140B at the Chicago Electric Piano Company. I also recorded on a Blonde 200 model in 2018 for Drift's single The Light. I really love the sound of the Wurlitzer. I would love to use one for every performance and every record I make. Over the past 8 years, I've used my Korg SV1 digital keyboard, which emulates the Wurlitzer pretty well. I've used the SV1 for countless live performances, and I've even recorded with it on some of my records. You can hear the SV1 whirly sounds on some songs of mine, such as Wicker Woman and Funnel Cake. Of course, it doesn't sound like the real thing, but it sounds pretty good as far as those things go.